Have you ever wondered how deeply the truth can hide, even in the most desperate situations? Today, we will dive into a case that challenges everything you think you know about justice, love, and betrayal. Imagine being on the verge of giving birth, full of hope and fear, and suddenly, your world turns upside down. Diana Dello, a woman about to become a mother, was brutally attacked in her own home. But what seemed like an ordinary act of violence turned into a mystery so deep and dark that even the most experienced detectives could not predict it. In this episode, we will explore a shocking truth. What if the hero of a story could also be the villain? Kevin Green, Diana's husband, was convicted of a crime he swore he didn't commit, and while he was rotting in prison, a serial killer known as the Bedroom Basher continued to roam free, spreading terror throughout the city. Prepare for a journey where every detail counts, where each new discovery leaves you breathless. We will reveal how a simple DNA analysis, many years later, exposed a web of deceit and brought an unimaginable truth to light. If you think justice always prevails, think again. And if you want to know how a horror story can also be a tale of hope and redemption, stay with us. Follow this narrative that will stir your emotions and challenge your beliefs about what is true and what is false. This is not just a crime story. It is a lesson about the resilience of the human spirit and the relentless pursuit of justice. Welcome to the most intriguing and disturbing mystery you have ever heard. Welcome to Spooky Stories. I'm Milo, your guide through the chilling and the unknown. Here, we dive into terrifying tales that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Join our community of thrill seekers, and let's explore the darkness together. It was a quiet night in the suburb of Tustin, Los Angeles. Diana Dello, a 19-year-old woman, was at a local bar with her friend. She had a delicate appearance, with brown hair and piercing green eyes. Her life until that moment had been peaceful, marked by a simple routine working at the clothing factory alongside her mother. However, that night everything would change. While talking with her friend, some men began harassing them. They were insistent, their loud voices and intrusive behaviors increasing the tension. Diana, uncomfortable, tried to ignore them, but the situation was about to get out of control. Then Kevin Green, a tall man with dark hair and a military bearing, intervened. He firmly drove the men away, his authoritative presence quickly dispersing them. Diana, relieved and grateful, offered to buy him a drink to thank him. Kevin accepted with a charming smile, and an immediate connection formed between them. They talked all night, discovering shared interests and exchanging laughs. Kevin revealed he was going through a complicated divorce, which made him seek moments of relaxation outside the house. The attraction between them was palpable, and it didn't take long for them to start dating regularly. A few months later, with Kevin's divorce finalized, he and Diana moved into a small apartment in Tustin. Diana soon discovered she was pregnant, and the couple decided to marry the same day they received the news. The couple's happiness was evident as they eagerly awaited the arrival of their daughter. The end of September 1979 brought palpable tension to the small apartment. Diana, now 9.5 months pregnant, was just days away from giving birth. On the night of September 30th, after watching a movie together, Diana and Kevin had a heated argument. The pressures of impending parenthood and Diana's physical exhaustion contributed to the conflict. Kevin, seeking to avoid escalating the argument, decided to leave to cool off. He grabbed his car keys and drove to a nearby fast food restaurant. Meanwhile, Diana, exhausted and emotionally drained, decided to rest in the bedroom. Not long after, a chilling call came into the local police station. Kevin, in a panic, reported that his wife had been attacked. When the police arrived, the scene was horrific. Diana was lying on the bed, covered in blood, with a head wound. The bedroom wall was splattered with blood, creating a disturbing image. Kevin was visibly in shock, his expression of horror and confusion leaving no doubt about his anguish. The police quickly called an ambulance and began providing first aid to Diana. The arrival at the hospital brought more questions than answers. Doctors confirmed that Diana had suffered head trauma from a blunt object, not a gunshot as initially thought. Kevin, still shaken, insisted on his version of events. He had gone out to buy burgers and, upon returning, found the door open and Diana gravely injured. The police, suspicious, began investigating every detail of the case. Kevin's alibi was peculiar but verifiable. The fast food receipt confirmed the time and location of his purchase. However, Kevin's story of seeing a suspicious man near a dark van raised additional doubts. Was it a coincidence that he mentioned a man matching the profile of the bedroom basher? A serial killer terrorizing the area? While Diana fought for her life, the police kept Kevin under close surveillance. They needed to determine if he was involved or merely another victim of the serial killer haunting Tustin. The case was just beginning, and the answers were far from clear. While Diana remained in a coma, investigators delved deeper into their research. They meticulously analyzed the crime scene, searching for any evidence that could link Kevin to the attack. Neighbors were interviewed, and many reported hearing frequent fights between the couple, contradicting Kevin's idyllic description of their relationship. One detail caught the detective's attention: the presence of skin and blood under Diana's nails. Laboratory analysis revealed that the blood type matched Kevin's. This was not conclusive proof of his guilt, but added a layer of complexity to the case. Kevin, on the other hand, maintained his innocence, insisting he could never harm his wife. Meanwhile, doctors did everything they could to stabilize Diana. The physical trauma she had suffered was severe, but her young and healthy body fought to survive. Her parents were constantly by her side, holding her hand and whispering words of encouragement, hoping she would wake up and clarify what really happened that fateful night. 6 weeks after the attack, during a physical therapy session, something unexpected happened. The therapist, trying to stimulate Diana's memory, mentioned the night of the attack. Diana, who had shown no signs of remembering, suddenly pointed to her wedding ring. It was a shocking and hopeful moment. When her mother came to pick her up, the therapist recounted the incident. Diana was immediately taken to the police station, where detectives eagerly awaited any information that could advance the investigation. There, Diana was questioned again. This time, her responses were different. With effort, she managed to confirm that she remembered the attack and that the assailant was indeed her husband, Kevin. This revelation drastically changed the course of the case. Detectives were torn between the possibility of Kevin being the attacker and the connection to the still-at-large serial killer. The fact that similar crimes continued to occur in Tustin suggested the real culprit might be free, but Diana's memory was powerful evidence that could not be ignored. With Diana's new statement, the police decided to act cautiously. They asked Diana and her mother to continue pretending that nothing had changed while placing Kevin under constant surveillance. It was a tense situation, but necessary to ensure Kevin did not flee or destroy potential evidence. Meanwhile, other attacks continued to occur in the region, increasing the pressure on the police to solve the case quickly. The assailant, dubbed the bedroom basher, seemed to be getting bolder. The victims were always young women, alone in their homes, and the attacks followed a similar pattern: invasion, brutal assault, and, in many cases, sexual violence. Detectives began to explore the possibility that Kevin was imitating the serial killer's style to disguise his own crime. The coincidence of Kevin seeing a suspicious man near a dark van that night seemed too convenient. Whether Kevin was the bedroom basher or merely exploiting the panic caused by the real killer was a question that urgently needed answering. After months of intense investigation, the police gathered enough evidence to arrest Kevin. He was detained while shopping, away from home, to minimize the risk of confrontation with Diana and her family. Kevin continued to insist on his innocence, but the evidence against him was incriminating. Diana, despite her difficulties, gradually regained her ability to speak. Her testimony was crucial during the trial, vividly describing the night of the attack and identifying Kevin as the assailant. Kevin's defense tried to discredit her memory, arguing that the severity of her injuries could have affected her ability to remember accurately, but the jury was convinced by the sincerity and details of Diana's testimony. In November 1980, Kevin was convicted of the murder of his unborn daughter and the assault on Diana. He was sentenced to 15 years to life in prison. The town of Tustin, although relieved to see a criminal convicted, remained on alert. The true bedroom basher might still be at large, and the community lived in constant fear of new attacks. Years passed and new forensic technologies emerged. In 1996, the police reopened the investigation into the bedroom basher attacks. Semen samples collected from the crime scenes were analyzed using DNA, something that was not possible at the time of the attacks. The results were shocking. The samples did not match Kevin, but rather a man named Gerald Parker, who had served at the same military base as Kevin. Parker confessed to the crimes after being confronted with the evidence, including the attack on Diana. He admitted entering the Greens' apartment that night after hearing the couple's argument and finding the door unlocked. Kevin, who had spent 16 years in prison for a crime he did not commit, was exonerated and released. The revelation caused a media frenzy and community outrage. Despite the new evidence, Diana maintained her belief that Kevin was also guilty, perhaps as a result of the severe trauma she had endured. Parker, meanwhile, was sentenced to death, but his execution was indefinitely delayed due to California's moratorium on executions. Diana and Kevin's story remains a grim example of the justice system's failures and the devastating effects of trauma. The search for truth, even when finally achieved, left permanent scars on all involved. Now that you know all the details of this harrowing case, the question remains: how far would you go to uncover the truth? Do we have the courage to question everything we believe, to face our own fears and confront injustices, no matter how insurmountable they may seem? Diana and Kevin lived through years of pain and confusion, but the relentless search for truth brought an unimaginable reality to light. Have you ever thought about how many truths are hidden around us, waiting to be revealed? How often do we accept what is presented to us without questioning, without investigating further? Consider your own life. Is there a hidden truth you need to discover? A situation you accepted without questioning? Maybe it is time to reevaluate your beliefs and seek answers, no matter how painful they may be. Knowledge and truth are powerful, and just like in Diana and Kevin's case, they can transform lives. If this story impacted you and made you reflect, don't stop here. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to keep learning about the mysteries and lessons the real world has to offer. Together, we can unravel more cases, understand human nature more deeply, and perhaps find inspiration to change our own lives. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe that the truth always comes out? Have you ever lived through a situation where you had to fight to discover the truth? We are eager to hear your stories and opinions. Thank you very much for following us this far. Together, we can learn and grow one mystery at a time. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any stories. See you in the next mystery. Meet Sarah. Like many of us, she used to dread bedtime. Hours spent tossing and turning, waking up groggy and irritable, and worst of all, her relentless snoring that not only disturbed her sleep, but her partner's as well. Desperate for a solution, Sarah tried everything. New mattresses, white noise machines, even sleeping pills. Nothing worked until she discovered our breathing for sleep routine. One particularly frustrating night, Sarah stumbled upon an article about the power of breathing to improve sleep. Skeptical but willing to try anything, she read about our breathing for sleep routine, a simple, scientifically backed method designed to clear sinuses, enhance breathing, and eliminate oxygen blockades. It promised to guide users through a simple breathing routine for the best sleep of their lives. Intrigued, she decided to give it a shot. As she began the routine, Sarah immediately felt her sinuses clear. She followed the step-by-step guide, learning how to breathe deeply and correctly. Within minutes, she noticed a significant difference. Her breathing was smoother, more relaxed. That night, she fell asleep faster than she had in years and, incredibly, stayed asleep all night. One of the most astonishing benefits was the end of her snoring. The routine included a simple breathing hack that stopped her snoring in minutes. Sarah learned that her habit of mouth breathing was activating her survival mode, preventing her from achieving truly restful sleep. By switching to nasal breathing, she deactivated this mode and allowed her body to fully relax. The next morning, Sarah woke up feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. She couldn't remember the last time she felt so well rested. Her partner noticed the difference too. No more middle-of-the-night disruptions from her snoring. The transformation was remarkable, and Sarah knew she had found something special. Sarah's story is not unique. Many others have discovered the life-changing benefits of our breathing for sleep routine. Imagine falling asleep quickly, sleeping soundly through the night, and waking up feeling fully rested. No more snoring, no more grogginess, just deep, restorative sleep. Are you ready to transform your sleep like Sarah did? Our breathing for sleep routine is easy to follow and starts working immediately. Clear your sinuses, enhance your breathing, and remove oxygen blockades with our guided routine. Say goodbye to snoring and hello to the best sleep of your life. Check out the link for this wonder in the description and the comments.